Hi everybody, Mark Michaels here, joined today with Mr. Shane Plummer and Logan Alley, the co-founders of the Legendary Stakes. We wanted to find out a little bit more. I'm sure you've probably heard or seen something about it, so we thought we'd get these guys in here and see what we can find out. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
So Shane, tell us a little bit about the Legendary Stakes. Can you give us an overview of what it is?
Yeah, kind of back up. This is 5 years in the making. Logan and I have been friends for longer than that. Logan's, his family, I've been standing and managing their stallions all that time, and he and I have been talking about different things in the industry and the good and different stallion incentives and things like that. And over that period of time, Logan really hatched some amazing ideas that, you know, I could say I'm a part of, but, you know, he kind of really was the brainchild, and refining it, investing heavily in some development technology, because Legendary Stakes is a brilliant idea, but it's really the platform and technology that makes it really shine. So hopefully we can talk a little bit about that, but basically Legendary Stakes is a really innovative way to include stallions, breeders, and competitors like nothing that's ever been presented to the horse industry at large. There's a lot of really good stallion incentives out there. Everybody knows the names. They're very popular right now and highly competitive and, quite frankly, pretty expensive too. Mm-hmm. We really feel like Legendary Stakes does things, well, we know it does things that have never been done before, creates lots of opportunity for stallion owners, way more opportunity for breeders, and what it's really going to do for the competitors is revolutionary. I mean, this is one of those pinnacle points in the horse industry that's like taking, you know, the horse to the automobile. That's what we believe that this is going to do for the horse industry, Western performance horses, and we're pretty excited to unveil it, get people involved, which we've been off to the races now for a few months, have 150 stallions in it already, and we believe, and hopefully people watching, will have over 500 by the end of the year.
That's amazing. Well, and like you mentioned, there's a lot of different incentive programs out there. They all have their own little twist, their own little, you know, way of paying back or being eligible. Just from an outsider standpoint, to me, it's a little bit of what the Legendary Stakes sounds like to me is a little bit of the incentives, but also kind of like the Chrome Cash payout. It's like a little side pot that people can enter into that are eligible and get direct payouts through there. Logan, am I kind of on that track? Or?
Absolutely. I think that you know, it's a whole nother competition with a lot of benefits built into it, and there's a lot that can come from it, and there's a lot of people that our preface in building this was, how do we get more people participating confidently when failures it's okay?
Yeah.
And, you know, I've heard guys explain that this is almost like a hedge, like what you're saying. You know, how do I go and compete, but yeah, if I fail, how can I make this to where it's still beneficial for me, my horse, the sire, the dam owner, the rider, and the breeder, all the same.
Yeah. What motivated you? I mean, Shane mentioned you're kind of the main start of this whole project. What motivated you to kind of get this started, to create this?
So, I don't know. I think competition is a good thing, a really good thing. I think that for me, you know, I look at someone that, you know, I know that life is always tough for everybody. It's not just you know, certain people. But I feel like that if there's something out there that allows someone to get up and have a sense of purpose, you know, how could that look? And so we just started working together, trying to figure out, you know, trying to think about how many people are on the sidelines looking in to this industry, wishing that they could play. And if there was a way for them to be involved in some way and lower the risk, but all the same potential to earn their way. And we worked at it for a long time, and it finally came together to the point where, you know, when you really dive into this thing and you look at the algorithm, 50% of this is just showing up
Yeah.
and effort, which all of us have. And then after that, it's just a dogfight.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the other part to this is it's an ongoing incentive program. Let's say it's not just for a show that stallions are nominated to, or a stallion nominated to a show. This is ongoing, and this is broad based, and we're going to get more into that. But it all starts with the stallions. First of all, the stallions have to be nominated or be entered into the program. Shane, can you elaborate a little bit about what's involved with that and how that works?
Yeah. To clarify something really quick, one of the things with Legendary Stakes that's unique is that it isn't a show. You mentioned that. It's not like the other stallion incentives that all gear towards one conclusion or a series of events or shows, right? Our platform piggybacks off of the existing infrastructure of the Western performance horse industry. We're not show producers, we're not event planners. The Legendary Stakes is made up of 700 events next year from the Western performance horse disciplines. So we'll get into those details, but that's one of the beautiful things about it is that you mentioned Chrome Cash, that side pot. People can enter a Legendary Stakes event and these opportunities that have never existed before. But for them to be able to do that, like you said, it has to start with the stallion owner. The genesis of participation in the Legendary Stakes is the stallion has to do two things. First, they have to enroll. Enrollment is lifetime. Once a stallion is enrolled in Legendary Stakes, they're enrolled forever. I'll go over the price structure, how that works. We know that this is new and unique, and people are saying, what is this thing?
Yeah.
We believe in it so much, in this technology that we've created, that quite frankly is very expensive.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's very expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
We believe in it so much that we're allowing stallions to enroll for free this year.
Right.
So that free expires first of the year.
Yeah.
So if you have a stallion and you want to be in the Legendary Stakes, enroll. Enroll now. It's free. Cost you nothing. So once the stallion is enrolled, they're in the platform. They can have a user account. They can interact with other owners of their stallion's offspring in some really neat and innovative ways that we can kind of get into how the platform works. But that's enrollment. Legendary Stakes is made up of 14 Western performance horse disciplines. Everything with a Western horn on it and a rider.
Yeah.
Legendary Stakes has. So we're at the NCHA Futurity. Cutting is one of them. Barrel, roping, all the way down to Western Pleasure, believe it or not. And we can kind of explain why we picked all of these. But the stallion owner has to, what we call, unlock one of the 14 disciplines. They can unlock one, they can unlock all 14. But once the stallion unlocks a discipline, just like enrollment, it's unlocked for life. So we're talking about one-time fees.
Yeah.
That's from a stallion owner's perspective and point of view, that's the major difference with Legendary Stakes and other stallion programs, is ours is a one-time fee. Once you do it, it's done forever. So if somebody wants to unlock a discipline this year, great. If they want to unlock one next year or 10 years from now, they can unlock them whenever they want to. But once they unlock that discipline, they're unlocked for life. That stallion's offspring can then compete in the Legendary Stakes in those unlocked disciplines. So if a stallion owner unlocks cutting, his foals can compete in the 50 cutting events every single year on Legendary Stakes forever and ever. If they want to unlock barrel in the future, then that stallion's offspring can compete in the barrel events forever and ever.
Yeah. So you can adjust your plan as you start out. You can start out with just cutting and cow horse, or you can add roping later next year, or barrel racing. And the other question I have, just as you're talking there, these horses that are competing here, maybe they haven't thought about actually standing them as a stud or have a big game plan. But if it's free right now, I'm thinking, well, mate, why not go ahead and nominate right now if it doesn't cost anything, and if I never use it, it doesn't cost me anything.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There's 2023 Colts. Everybody's just getting the registration paper in, and they're rolling them right in.
Really?
14 new enrollments this morning, and a handful of them were 2023 stud colts.
Yeah. So you're starting to see people are starting to learn more about it and see the
Yes,
value
sir.
of this.
Yeah, there's not an hour that goes by that you pull up on the phone and a bunch of enrollments came in.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing to have.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So let's go into a little bit more about what disciplines you kind of touched on. There's 14 disciplines. Obviously, most stallions probably wouldn't enter all 14 because maybe Metallicat isn't going to have, and maybe he does, I don't know, but a Western Pleasure horse, or, you know, I mean, I know they've got barrel racers, but the reining is maybe, is it worth for them to unlock those ones if there's not going to be very many of their offspring in there?
Is it worth it, Logan?
So I think that's anyone's perspective, but you know, the way this game is built, it's similar to the Oklahoma land grab, where it's new frontier. If there's nobody there, there's no offspring that you're going to compete against. You know, there is a purse at every single event allocated for just your stallion's offspring to compete and outplace each other. So I know stallion owners that are unlocking those disciplines where someone else is going to say that you shouldn't be here, and they're going to go do it because those are easy wins.
Right.
And the more that they win, the more it markets your stallion across the board to do things that no one says you should be doing. And that's the type of thing that we built this for, is for the person who shouldn't be here but is winning, is working and earning. You know, it's fun to watch people win when they're guaranteed to win. That's fine, but I would much rather watch the no-name walk in there where they shouldn't be and just win.
Yeah.
And that markets more to us as the owners than anything else.
Well, and I think, as you both probably know and have seen, you develop something with a set of rules. Somebody's going to try to figure out a way to get around some of that and figure out a shortcut, which is, in this case, it's totally legal, but it's a great point you made about why not put a Metallicat in training with a Western Pleasure for the futurity, and if it doesn't, you know, it might turn out to be great, but even if it doesn't, I mean, you're going to...
Well, you could get that, or you could get a fully trained cutting horse looking on the platform and saying, oh, I'm also eligible for this Western Pleasure that's happening next week. I'm going to pay the Legendary Stakes entry fee and go compete at that. Might place last at the Western Pleasure event because it's not trained to do those things, but it's going to place first in Legendary Stakes. And we can get into what some of these payouts can be, but we'll be paid more through Legendary Stakes than the champion of that Western Pleasure event will win.
Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to call out Jesse Lennox, because I know Jesse will try anything. And what you just said right there, I mean, his name came right to mind. I can see him showing up there.
The people at the Western Pleasure could just be laughing their heads off that this horse...
Yeah. But why not?
That horse is going to win more money. With the Legendary Stakes, there is no ceiling.
Yeah.
The more people that participate, the better it is for everyone. And just like Logan said, if a stallion has a competitor go, that the purse is allocated to reward everybody that goes.
Yeah.
So if a stallion has one go, it's going to get part of the purse, and the purse can be higher than some of these big time events that we're talking about.
Yeah. How are those purses generated?
Entry fee.
Entry fee. So it's basically pay to play, and that all goes into a purse.
Yes, sir. So we just did a lot of calculations, a lot of algorithms, rolling back and forth. We started looking at, you know, how many people are actually, you know, entering these disciplines across, you know, in the United States, and there's a bunch. And we started, you know, if we were to allocate this and create this ecosystem.
Can I interject here?
Yes, sir.
You're Performance Horse Central. You go to more shows than anybody I know of. Last year, these 14 disciplines, guess how many entries there were in this country?
There's a lot. I have no idea. I wouldn't know what to put a number on it.
The Equistat data, there was 935,000 entries.
Yeah.
That's people competing in these 14 different disciplines.
Yeah.
So there is a huge amount of people that are competing.
Yeah.
So Logan, now continue, but where does the purse come? It comes from the people that fuel the horse industry. That 930,000 entries.
Right.
There's a big demand to do these things.
Yeah. But if there's one person entering at, let's say Jesse shows up at the Western Pleasure Futurity, and you were saying he could potentially win more, but if there's only him there, like where does that purse generated from?
One of our favorite questions is because in order for this to be a true ecosystem, then everything needs to be diversified to support each other equally with the value. So whenever we talk about total entries for the year, that those total entries go into one giant legendary purse. And then that purse distributes to every discipline equally, no matter how many people are there, to every event equally, no matter how many people are there. And so the purse is waiting for those to have enough guts to go and claim it. And the more they go, the more confidence that's generated. How many people are going to go compete more when they feel like they have a chance? 935,000 today. Are there more people out there that would like a chance if they felt confident and the cost benefit was in their favor? Yes. So we think that it could be way bigger than that, but you can take that 935,000 for just the horse and add the rider entry, the dam owner entry, and the breeder entry if they want to, and they can all compete in their own category at every single event across those 700 events.
Yeah. Let's break that down a little bit. So we've now got the stallion nominated.
Yes, sir.
And we've got the discipline unlocked.
Yes, sir.
Once that's done, how do people with progeny, or like you mentioned just now, the dam owners, the breeders, how do they get involved? How can do they just get on the app and pick a show and then pay an entry fee? How does that work?
The short answer is yeah. That's exactly how it works. So stallion's enrolled, discipline is unlocked. That full owner can then look at the eligible events, which every discipline has 50. So 50 for cutting, 50 for barrel, on down the line, all 14. So whatever that stallion's unlocked, that foal can compete in all 50 events. If they want to go to the Abilene Spectacular in January, and that stallion is unlocked that discipline, they enter the Abilene Spectacular like they normally would, and then they can go on the Legendary Stakes app or through the website. You create a user account, you put in your horse's information, that horse is attached to that stallion, and yep, you're eligible to enter. You can do it on the app. You put in that information, which classes you want to go to and what you're eligible for. It'll tell you exactly what you can do. Each entry fee is $250, so that's important for everybody to know. They pay their $250.
Amateur, open, all doesn't matter. Yeah.
Every entry fee is $250. And like Logan said, that goes into the giant purse. It's an annual competition, then it gets split evenly at the end. So you go, you compete. Let's say you win. The technology, the platform is going to tell you exactly what you won. But the neat thing is, because how we've modeled this out, that winnings is going to grow throughout the year. Mm-hmm. You're going to keep logging in and looking at this app is going to be your best friend.
Right, yeah.
And you're going to want more and more and more people. That's the thing that's counterintuitive. I mean, I've grown up in the horse business.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I know. And usually you want lower competition, so that gives you more opportunity.
Sure.
Legendary Stakes has flipped that on its head. You want way more people involved because that increases your opportunity.
Yeah.
You want everybody. I mean, the stallion owner is going to want to educate all of their foal owners. The platform gives them a sounding board to be able to do that because it connects them. Mm-hmm. It links them to each other that's never existed before. They're going to want them all to go because that gives their stallion more opportunity. They're going to want all the breeders to know. All the breeders, and we haven't got into the royalties and all that kind of stuff. We'll get to that, but this is really something that unifies. I mean, I'm a breeder. I breed a lot of foals every year, sell them. Legendary Stakes now gives me a platform to stay connected to that horse for the rest of its competition life. Like Logan said, I as the breeder am going to get a notification that some horse that I named Nellie Bell, and I'm linked to through the platform, went and entered the Abilene Spectacular. I'm going to get a notification that, do you want to enter as well to compete against the breeders? So it's these purse allocations are allocated towards these different groups.
Right. Okay.
And I can look on the platform and see there are only 5 people that entered. I have lots of opportunity.
Yeah.
Or I can see 50 people entered.
Yeah.
I could win a whole bunch.
Right.
And my cost is $250.
Yeah.
So, we believe it's low cost with huge benefit.
Okay. So as people enter, so let's go back and let's say I've got a foal that's eligible at the Abilene Spectacular. We'll just use that show. It's the first one coming up. I'm going to go ahead and play. I'm going to go ahead and pay the $250 to enter a class, the Open, whatever. That's connected electronically. I'm guessing it's connected to my credit card or however I pay for that through there. Then after the show, it'll tell me how much I've won. But I won't be able to claim that until the end of the year. Is that right?
Correct.
Yep. Can I use that money to then buy more entries, or do I have to keep paying into that?
We're working on those things.
Okay. And that was just a question that kind of came to mind.
Sure,
like, can you
sure.
play on money you've already won, or is that?
This is the thing that we know that this is new.
Yep.
And I keep using this analogy, and I'm going to use it again here. You know, you have an iPhone, I know, because you've texted me and you've got blue squares,
Yep.
blue circles.
Yep.
What version do you have, Mark?
I've got the 13.
13.
Yeah.
Okay, so 15 years ago, Steve Jobs walked on the stage and he presented the iPhone, and it was pretty revolutionary. I
Yeah.
mean, we all kind of went crazy. Well, your 13 makes that one look like a brick phone.
Oh yeah.
So as you know, I mean, I've been following first Cutting Horse Central to Performance Central.
Yeah.
Things, you know, you
Evolve.
new iterations and whatnot.
Yeah.
What we have in the works,
Yeah.
you know, is far better than what we're launching today.
Sure. You got to start somewhere.
Sure. So there's all sorts of things.
Yeah.
This will be the biggest thing that the Western Performance has ever seen. You know, we're very, very excited about it. But yeah, you've got to create an account. You got to put your horse's information in. You're going to be able to proactively see what you can do, what you've won, and keep track of it throughout the year. And you're going to see it growing. You're saying, well, I'm going to go do that now 4 more times.
Yeah.
You know, because you see it in advance.
Well, and
it's
you
not
can,
a guessing game.
I can now play in Western Pleasure. I can, you know, put an entry in for a Western Pleasure, and I've never ridden one and never will. But now I'm all of a sudden, you know, it opens up to, I'm just not playing in the cutting pen anymore. I'm now doing roping and Western Pleasure, wherever those horses are.
I just sold 9 horses over the last 2 days at the Western Bloodstock sale. In the past, those horses would go do cutting.
Yeah.
They would go do cow horse. Maybe somebody bought one to go be a roping horse or whatever, which is great.
Yeah.
They should go do whatever their owners want them to do. This now opens up opportunities for those horses because they're eligible that never existed before. And the owners of that horses, they're going to start saying to themselves, my gosh, I just now have all these different avenues I can go compete and be successful with.
Yeah.
And me as a stallion owner or me as a breeder, I just relish that, and I love that side of it.
Well, and you and I were talking earlier that the market is obviously strong, and these prices, they're strong, and you've got to have ways to recoup that. And how does the Legendary Stakes help give more opportunity for people to recoup that purchase price?
You talking about the discipline fee?
Well, I mean, as far as being able to get a return on their investment, they bought a horse now, so they've got this horse, and now, you know, traditionally, you would recoup it, A, by either selling the horse, B, by it doing really well in the show pen, or C, just entering as many as you can and hope you win as much as you can.
Yes.
And hope the value appreciates.
And hope the value appreciates, and that the horse stays sound, obviously.
Right.
But how does the Legendary Stakes impact that side of, you know, the economy now?
So the calculation, you know, a lot of our mental accounting sometimes can be really, you know, off. And what the app and the technology that we have, I mean, you're really going to have the statistics like never before to be able to calculate what it might. I mean, we don't really know what it's going to really pan out, but we know it's going to be big to the degree that the information you're going to have in your hand is you're going to be able to make decisions before you ever, instead of afterwards trying to make up for it. You're going to be able to plan accordingly way in advance to make those, you know, if you're owning the horse, I know what we can do. Let's just go to a bunch of places that we know nobody are going to be at, and we know what we can win.
Yeah.
And those purses are available.
That's from a competitor's point of view. You know, have you ever hauled for the world back in your days?
Yep.
And you'd map out your plan, and you'd be figuring it all out, and you know, hopefully your horse stays sound, and you can go execute that plan. Well, that's the same thing. You're going to see a path forward, and people are going to say, well, this is where I'm going to go and what I'm going to go do. And the competitor is going to see the field is white. You know, I have all this blue sky and opportunity to go out for. The stallion owner, why they want to do this is because there's real benefit to unlocking these disciplines, paying these one-time fees. So 10% of the entry fee is allocated for a royalty to the stallion owner. So entry fee is $250, 10% of that is $25.
Yep.
Now you can say, well, that doesn't sound like a lot of money. Well, how much percentage of an entry fee does a stallion owner get today going to an
Zero.
event?
Yeah.
Zero.
So
$25 is pretty good.
Yeah.
If 100 horses, their offspring, go enter a legendary stakes event, 100 times 25 is $2,500.
Yeah.
What if 1,000 entries go?
Yeah.
I mean, that's $25,000.
Yeah.
Logan was really wise. He went to the Q Stallions, which is something hopefully everybody goes and sees. It's really, really good data. And Q Stallions has this leaderboard list and has the top 50 stallions, sires this year, and what those horses have won and how many events they went to. And we just took that data and plugged it into our model and found out, Metallic Cat, who's the leading sire this year, if his foals all were eligible for all the events that they went to in Q Stallions data, which is 14 disciplines.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they all showed in 14
Sure.
disciplines,
Yeah.
but they're all eligible. That $25 turned out to be $440,000 that Mr. Patton would have gotten
Yeah.
in an annual royalty.
Yeah.
Now, that's a lot for Metallic Cat. There were some stallions that have 1/10 the amount of foals and competition out there. They would have gotten a royalty of between $7,000 to $10,000,
Yeah.
which is amazing for a one-time fee. Getting that, and that's
Yeah.
in perpetuity.
Yeah.
That would happen next year, and the year after that, and the year after that.
It keeps going. Yeah.
Legendary Stakes, from a stallion owner's perspective, is the only thing that they will ever be involved with that's true cash accounting. I spent X, and I can see I got Y.
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't exist in other things.
Yeah.
How do I know? Because I've done it.
Yeah. Trial and error.
And all the other ones, right?
Yeah.
You pay in and you
Yeah.
hope you're going to get more breed fee revenue. You're going to say, if I do this, I'm going to get more demand.
Yeah.
Which could be true. Maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not picking on anybody. I
Yeah.
just know that what the problem, it's one thing for Mr. Patton to go do it. It's another thing for John in Nebraska or Sally in
Yeah.
Wisconsin
Yeah.
that has a stallion that they breed 10 foals. The neat thing with what we've created is those 10 foals, yes, the stallion owner is going to get a benefit. Yes, the breeder is going to get that same 10%. But that stallion's 10 foals, they're competing against themselves
Yeah.
and have this huge opportunity, these avenues that never existed before. So that's why, even for those breeders, those stallion owners that have 10 offspring, it's worth it for them. Because without it, what are they doing?
Yeah. They're not getting
They're doing the
anything back.
conventional
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that we all have been doing for a long time, which is great.
Yeah.
We're piggybacking off of that infrastructure, but adding so much more opportunity and value. We're really excited for everybody to dive into the details.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, coming at this, from a data side and a data perspective, and you touched on it at the start, you've spent 4 years developing this. It's not an overnight success yet or anything like that, but you've put there's been a lot of building going on in the past to get to this stage where you are now launching. How are you going to be able to track the data from all these disciplines? I mean, that sounds to me like an Amazon distribution center full of cubicles of people sitting there on iPhones and iPads and laptops. How are you going to be able to track all the results?
Well, it starts with the entry, and that rings a bell into our system, so we know who's at the event, and then we're intertwining with the secretaries at the event to just get the results. All we need is the results. Our common thread for all these disciplines and all the events is placement. Where did you place? We understand that scores and times are all going to vary no matter where you're at and no matter what your skill level is, but the common thread is what did you place? And that's where the key words in our system is top placing entry. So like Shane was saying, he enters as a breeder at a show, in Wisconsin or wherever. If he's the only breeder that entered and his high drive cat got last, well, he's the top placing entry at that event. So that purse for the breeders will fall right down to him and he's able to claim it.
Yeah. So is this still a manual process then, as far as getting those results from the show secretaries? Will it create more work for them, or is this something that you're pulling automatically, or?
We will be pulling automatically.
Yeah.
Well, we're hoping to do a joint venture with Performance Source Central and
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
get some seamless transitions. I mean, it's better for all of us if we can unify and be linked together in that kind of a way.
Well, you're preaching to the choir there. I mean, I would love nothing more for everybody to be on one unilateral system where NCHA could report, their standings, because I mean, it all comes back. They've got to be the official holder of all the data and the standings and the money won and everything. And so the quicker and easier it is for them to calculate that, the quicker and easier it is for all of us to process that data in the different ways where we're using that data.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of associations that are far smaller than NCHA that are begging for the chance to be on that same platform like you're talking about. There's a lot of people out there saying the same thing. What we're trying to do is create that platform, and we are allocating dollars out of the entry to where it is going to be worth the time of that secretary to just key in the data, the results.
Yeah. So what? How will this program eventually pay back out to the participants? You mentioned at the end of the year the payouts are distributed. How is that done? Is that just done through the app directly to a bank account or a check or?
Yeah, exactly. So first we have to verify that entry was valid and they actually that horse information was correct and not manipulated in any way, and they actually went to that show wherever they went and they did compete. They entered and they competed and did mark that score. So there's some verification processes. Once the annual purse is figured out and it's distributed evenly to all the different disciplines and all of the events, then the payout is seamless. It goes straight to the platform. If they have their bank account information in there, we ACH it.
Okay.
If it's a check, we'll send out a check. So, I mean, it's just like an accounting function. They're going to have to have a W-9 and all those things to receive the funds, but they're seeing it full disclosure. I mean, if anybody's ever had a banking app, if anybody's ever had E-Trade, if anybody's ever had those kinds of experiences, we're not touting that we're E-Trade, but we're saying that you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, you're seeing real time.
In real time,
data.
exactly what you have. Once December 31st hits and it becomes January 1st, that year is then ended and we begin a new year.
Yeah. Okay. So where can people go to find out more about this? I know you've launched the website, you've got the app. Tell viewers how they can find out more about the Legendary Stakes.
Everybody needs to go to legendarystakes.com. That's the website, and you can scroll down on that homepage and there's the different app store buttons that you can click on if you're on your phone, your iPad, and it'll take you right to those links. You need to create an account on your computer. Starting next week, you're going to be able to create your account on the app. See, the app is ongoing. The development's never going to stop. It's ongoing, and we're going to make that button larger, or we're going to twist this knob here, and the more data that comes in, because it's our users, it's our participants that help fuel this whole thing. And that's the beautiful thing about this model, Mark, is that some of the best stallion programs out there can have a purse of a few $1 million, which is fantastic. That's what fuels all the demand. That's why everybody's here at the NCHA Futurity, because there's $4.2 million, I believe it is. Is that right?
Something like that, yeah.
$4 million that people go compete with. Most people don't get any of that, but that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Well, the data that we have, those 930,000 entries and all the stallions that we know that are actively out here, how many registered foals they have, and what their performance rates are. Most breeding stallions have about a 40% performance rate, meaning they bred 10 mares and 4 of those go compete. Some of them are as high as 7. These kinds of data points that he and I sit here and look at every single day. Well, if the horses that are the stallions that are actively in these stallion programs, and we know how many registered foals they have, and we know how many foals go compete, this program, Legendary Stakes, can be $100 million a year purse. We're not talking about 4. We're talking about 100 million.
That's
just based off of the metrics that we know are real.
So let's
We're
talk
not saying
about,
that's going to happen in
no, but
2024.
yeah, no. I mean, it takes time to build.
If 10% of that comes to pass,
Yeah.
that's beyond revolutionary.
Yeah. Let's talk about why it's important for these stallion owners to get on board now as opposed to January 1st. I know there's some early bird incentives. We mentioned it was free.
Free.
Yeah. So what if they do procrastinate and wait and sit there in January 1st and go, oh yeah, now I want to get in?
Yeah, I mean, enrollment, one-time fee of $0 this year. So, get in now. It costs you nothing. If you wait till next year because you want to see how it goes, we're discounting the enrollment by 50% for next year. So 2024, it's $12,500, one-time fee.
Yeah.
If you want to wait till 2025 and beyond, it's a one-time fee of $25,000.
Yeah.
So again, we believe in this so much, and we've invested in it so heavily. We're giving this beautiful Ferrari that we built for free.
Yeah, test drive it for free.
But for you to really utilize the benefits of our nice thing that we built, you've got to unlock those disciplines.
Yeah.
And that's how you get your royalties. That's how foals can then go in and enter and compete and win. And 2023, they're discounted by 66%. So $5,000 per discipline.
Okay.
If you want to unlock one, it's $5,000. If you want to unlock two, 10. So on and so forth.
Yeah.
Next year, it's a 33% discount. The discipline fee will be $10,000.
Okay.
2025 is $15,000.
Okay.
So that's the pricing structure. We know that this is new, so that's why we're discounting it. We believe in it, but we know how good this thing is, and we know that some people are going to wait, and they're still going to pay in.
Sure.
And they're going to find out that it only 10 of their offspring go compete. It'll still pay for that $10,000. We just hope everybody sees the opportunity now, because it's going to make it that much better for everyone. That's the thing with Legendary Stakes. The more people that are involved, the better it is for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I think I've learned a lot just from sitting here talking to you guys about it. And I know, if you go to legendarystakes.com, you've got that frequently asked questions section on there, my favorite part, the FAQs. And there's a lot of questions on there already. But like Shane has already said, if you do have specific questions, reach out to them. To Logan, and be sure to ask that, and they'll be happy to answer that. And we wish you lots of success. We can't wait to watch this thing grow and possibly be a part of it with you. So we look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks, Logan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.